Big show today on this Winky Wednesday episode of Locked On 49ers. We're going to pick our draft order for our all-time 49ers draft that we'll be doing basically over the next month on every Winky Wednesday. Croc versus Wink versus Peacock. It's going to be a lot of fun drafting all-time 49ers teams, 3 full squads. So it's going to take a few weeks of podcasts to do that. Get into the Twitter questions today. And is the 49ers rival going to lose one of their best players to retirement? All that coming up right now.
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock and Eric Crocker with you at BD Peacock, at Eric_Crocker. And you know what day it is. This is a Wednesday podcast. You might be catching it Tuesday evening, though, on YouTube. We like to get them up early on YouTube. We are recording Tuesday evening, but it is a Winky Wednesday for all you audio-only listeners in your car, wherever you are. We appreciate you. We love you. And let's bring on today's guest.
Nick Winkler, come on down.
All right.
What's happening, my man? How are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, just loving life. How can you not?
Good. Loving life. I went to the beach today. I'm back close to the coastline. So quick run to the beach, a little Leo digging in the sand, having a lot of fun. I saw some guys that were about ready to fight each other on the way out, which is weird. It was very un-beach. No. It was very un-California beach like. It was like two guys like about ready to pull knives on each other. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen at a beach. It was
You're like, guys, chill. Just listen to the ocean. You'll calm down.
Dude, there's the ocean. 70 degrees outside. What the hell are you mad about right now?
Speaking of which, we took my son for a walk. We went to this new park, and we're like, "Oh, this place looks awesome. Let's we brought his bike, and we're like, let's just ride around and get some exercise." And halfway through, the wind shifts, and there's an In-N-Out down the road. So it's just like, woof. Oh, we just like those cartoons, where you follow your nose. Like, there goes the exercise.
Don't
In-N-Out catches a lot of slack. Or flack.
I don't get it, man.
I don't get it either. Here's my take on it, and just in general. And I know a lot of people try to separate how much something costs from the actual, like the taste of the burger and things like that. There's always the debate: who's the best? In-N-Out's underrated. Five Guys, is that better? Or Habit Burger, or whatever you eat. But I'll say this: when it comes to getting bang for your buck, right? Like the quality of In-N-Out burger. How good it is, how fresh it is for the price of In-N-Out burger. Nothing beats that. Now, is there a burger out there that might taste a little better or whatever, whatever, maybe. But when you go there and you get a full meal, a double for $8-9, you can't do that anywhere. You can't even do that at McDonald's, and their stuff doesn't even mold. It doesn't even get old.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. There's a lot of slander towards In-N-Out Burger. I don't think it's justified. I think there are people that hype it to the point where it's like, oh, that's the best thing. You got to get on the West Coast. And it's like, no, I wouldn't say that. But I love In-N-Out Burger. Like when I go to California, like I make sure I go and get me a number one. Sometimes I get the animal style fries. Like it's good. It tastes fresh. I don't eat it and feel all like nasty afterwards. Like I like In-N-Out Burger a lot.
No, you got to get with chilies. They chop up these spicy chilies and they put it in there. That just adds a little something to it too.
Okay, all about the secret menu too. Yeah, that's part of it too. You got to know about the secret menu. You know exactly how you like your items. I don't get into the arguments about different burgers and burger places because, like, dude, I can make a better burger than any of them in my backyard on the grill. So what are people even arguing about? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what's the argument? It's like people are acting like it's the best thing in the world. And you're like, we're talking about fast food burger. Like, why would you care about it?
But at what point is something not a fast food burger? Like Five Guys, if it costs me $20 for a meal, at what point is that's like a legit like restaurant? And I think there should be a rule. If there's not a drive-through, it can't be a fast food restaurant.
But it's supposed to be
Five Guys. They don't have drive-thrus.
It's supposed to be fast, right?
Get out of the car.
Well, and that's just it. You've been to In-N-Out, right? Have you ever gone to In-N-Out and gotten your food fast? Like they make it fresh, so it takes a long time. You sit in that line, man. It takes you 40 minutes from start to finish.
Like for how long that line is, I think they filtered through it pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not bad. But you're not going to get out of there in less than 30 minutes. It's going to take you a while. It's out on the street, man. The lines are ridiculous.
You can tell it's the offseason. We're talking about food here on Locked On 49ers. We will get into some football subjects in a second. Aaron Donald, might he be retiring from the Los Angeles Rams? And what would that make the NFC West landscape look like? We're going to randomly select our draft order for the 2022 all-time San Francisco 49ers draft. 3 teams, Croc versus Peacock versus Winkler. We're going to be doing that every Wednesday for the course of probably it'll take us all of June, all of the Winky Wednesdays for the rest of the month here. And who knows, maybe it'll take all the way to training camp. But that's going to be a lot of fun with 3 of us. And Wink and I did it 5 years ago. It was 2017, June of 2017 when we did it. So 5-year anniversary of the original all-time 49ers draft. Now we've got a 3-team version, which will be absolutely a lot of fun. And I can't wait for everybody's input on that one. So we'll pick the random draft order a little bit later today, and I'll put it on the screen so we can all see it. And I want to hit, we already started talking about food, and I was just asked today about, and this is something I've been really missing since I moved away from San Francisco. So I'm really glad to be back and being close to one of my favorite spots. Kushti on Twitter said, "Hey, BD Peacock, you're the man in the know. Where's the best place in San Francisco or local area for chili verde?" Cheers, dude. Appreciate the question, because listening to the show, he knows chili verde is my thing. But actually, my favorite dish in San Francisco that I missed the most was the pozole verde at Puerto Alegre on Valencia Street. It's Valencia and 16th. Oh, it's my favorite spot, and I'm going to go hit that this week. I'm so excited to hit that. Croc, you being in Arkansas, is it In and Out? Is there something that you've been really missing that you have to hit when you go back to California?
Taco burrito.
What was it?
You said what?
I didn't hear what you say. Oh, Croc's breaking up a little bit. Wink, do you have one?
In San Francisco? Oh, man, I love Chairman Bao. You ever been there?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I should be good now. I don't know what's going on with this hotel, but yeah, every time I go back to Stockton, I have to get a taco truck burrito.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Oh, dude. Yeah. The taco, it's like it hits hard, right? It hits home. It's like that thing that it's never the thing that's the most expensive or the one that everybody comes from out of town to get. It's the thing that you know about that just makes you feel good. That's always what it's all about.
And Michael's Pizza for me when I go to Stockton, that's a must stop. And usually get a little extra to go as well to bring home.
And apparently you're a ranch guy, right? And it's all about the ranch as well at Michael's Pizza. From what I understand.
The buttermilk ranch. Woo, so good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's talk Aaron Donald next. We'll get into a few more of these Twitter questions. We'll pick our order for the San Francisco 49ers all-time draft that will be starting next Wednesday. So we'll have a little opportunity to prepare our draft strategies, knowing where we're going to pick in our 3-man snake draft for the all-time 49ers draft. That's going to be a lot of fun coming up. Wink, is there a place that you hope you are selecting? Have you thought much about it? Have you worked on your big board yet?
Yeah, my big board's ready to go. I'll be money no matter where I'm picking. I got strategies for 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm good. If we throw a 4th in there, I'm going to be ready as well.
That's where we should have a listener come in and be the 4th.
Oh, there you go.
That's for 5 years
next
from now.
year.
Yeah. If we're still doing this podcast and it's been going for 10 years, we'll have to really break out all the stops for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. That stuff is coming up next today, but I'll let the folks out there know about Built Bar. Yeah, brownie batter puffs. They're crazy. The new Built granola bars as well. 3 unbelievable flavors of Built granola bars. Chocolate peanut butter, chocolate coconut, and white chocolate berry. And why not try all 3? You can get a mixed box of those granolas at Built.com right now. And of course, Built granola bars are the same as every other Built bar. It utilizes 100% real chocolate. You don't feel like you're skimping, even though it's only 150 calories, but packed with 15 grams of protein and only 4 grams of sugar. High protein, low sugar. That's what you're looking for. And that's what Built bars give you, including the new Built granola bars. They will change your world. Built has cracked the code to better granola. They're the perfect healthy snack to pack in your lunch, take on the road, or eat as a snack, or have ready at your at your will, basically, if you're having a summer road trip. And they're made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of other health benefits. And of course, all the other flavors you can get at built.com. The puffs are still there. You've got all the standard flavors, peanut butter, but of course, the new 3 delicious flavors of Built granolas are something to try. Chocolate peanut butter, chocolate coconut, and white chocolate berry. So go to built.com right now, get those Built granola bars or any other flavor of Built bars. Use promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. Again, that is promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. I want to let everybody know that they should check out after, by the way, thank you for making Locked On 49ers your first listen every day. Check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast, hosted by Peter Bukowski, talking about all the latest going on in all sports. And you can find it on your Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts, including YouTube. All right, fellas, have you heard the story about Aaron Donald potentially retiring? I don't think it's going to happen, but remember when after the Super Bowl, there was that little rumor and it felt like it kind of been squashed and it wasn't something really going to happen. And then Aaron Donald goes on the I Am Athlete podcast and was talking about his future. And he said he always told himself he was going to play 8 years. And he's there, right? And he said he would be at peace potentially retiring unless maybe he gets a new contract. So maybe this is just a ploy for him to get a new contract from the Rams. But it sounds like there is something to that report right after the Super Bowl about Aaron Donald potentially retiring. And according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, this is a dynamic the Rams have known about for a while. And Fowler's contacts tell him the expectation is there's a certain number that must be hit potentially on a new deal for Aaron Donald. So, Croc, I'm going to go to you first. Is this Donald just angling for some more cash, or you think he might actually be retiring?
It sounds like he is angling for just more cash. I mean, most people that are going to retire, it's not because of, well, if I get a contract extension, then I'm going to stay. A lot of times when you see guys just retire out of nowhere, I mean, it's actually nothing about the money, right? It's everything about just how they feel, how their body feels, or just wanting to hang it up. I mean, guys like Barry Sanders, you know, he was fairly young in his career, you know, at the point of him retiring. And not young in his career, but just in the sense of, you know, he was pretty healthy, weren't expecting it, then boom, he's gone. Calvin Johnson, he retired early on, but it sounded like his body was really banged up. But again, I don't think there was any amount of money that was going to make him continue to play. Patrick Willis, same thing, retired pretty young. His feet started kind of failing him a little bit. So when you hear Aaron Donald talk about hanging it up, I don't know. As much effort as you have to put into being great, especially playing at the level that he plays at, I don't know if it's money that would persuade you to be able to play longer and put your body through that. I feel like it's something that you have to either want or you don't want. And right now, I think he still wants it. So it might be more about legitimately trying to get more money out of him.
I wonder if it's less about retirement, or I wonder if it is about retirement, but he's trying to get one big last year of payday, knowing he's going to retire after this year, just to get that bank account rather than playing out his old contract and then retiring. So maybe that's part of it for Aaron Donald. He got his Super Bowl. It would be an easy way to walk out. You know, it'd be a nice time to do it. You know, it's easy for us to say and speculate what he should do with his life and his career, but this is the point in NFL players' careers where they do start to feel it a lot more. It's probably a lot harder to get ready to play a season. You feel it a lot more on Monday mornings when you wake up, and you see careers start to decline into your 30s. You know, non-quarterback edition. We're seeing quarterbacks play for a while. We're seeing a lot of really great players play a little deeper into their careers. But as much money as you make if you're a star player in the NFL, yeah, why would you put your body through that, Wink? Right? Like, enjoy the rest of your life. Enjoy your 30s. Yeah. Look, maybe he's just trying to get that one year payday and then get out of here.
Yeah, you know, you say that, and anybody who's ever watched a caper movie, you know, like throughout their lives, you know, there's always that guy that's like, all right, just one more score, and then I'm going to retire. It never ends well. That's never the way to go out. So if that's really what he's looking for is just one last score, then, you know, he might not like the way that his career ends. But I mean, if you want to go out on top, you just want a Super Bowl. You know, like now's the time. But I do think it's more of like a, hey guys, I'm cool with it unless you want to give me a bunch of money. Then I'll stick around for a little bit more. But where are the Rams going to get that money? I feel like they have some sort of magic with the cap. Like, what are they doing that's different from everybody else? Because I feel like they just keep bringing in more people and keep paying them a ton of money. Like, do they have any money that they could actually give Aaron Donald to keep him around? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, we've talked about this a little bit. They do pay guys, but they have lost a lot of guys too. Mm-hmm. So in the process of like, oh, I'm paying Aaron Donald, I'm paying Jalen Ramsey, I'm paying Matthew Stafford, I'm paying whoever, Bobby White, whoever else they're paying a big chunk of money to, they're losing a ton of players. I think this offseason they brought in like 3 players or something like that in free agency and lost like 10. And like a decent amount of those guys like that they lost starters. Key contributors. So I don't know if that number is 10, but it was up there. It was a significant difference. So there is some give and take in them saying, you know what, we can to lose a guy in there, Matthew. So to kind of someone that I think can really be a maker around and maybe a soft blow of losing a guy. Terrific.
You're breaking up a little bit there at the end, but yeah, it's like the thing I go to with Aaron Donald and the way the Rams are built is they're teetering on, and look, they've done a pretty good job of building a lot of depth on the roster too, because they've played the comp game so well, the compensatory selections, and so they haven't drafted a lot in the first round or drafted a lot early. They didn't draft until the 3rd round this year, but they've had a lot of picks in the mid and late rounds, in rounds 3, 4, 5, and beyond. So they've brought a lot of players in, so they've been able to help out their depth that way, and it's clearly their strategy. So it's not like they've been low on draft picks. They've just been low on high draft picks, but clearly they're willing to pay stars, and that's where they're built. But that's what it's also, teetering on a very narrow foundation. So if you lose Aaron Donald, like how bad does that make your team? Do you have to have a 100% healthy Stafford, Donald, Ramsey for it to work that way, to have that stars and scrubs roster and be a Super Bowl contender? Because if you start to lose one of those guys, like how bad are the Rams, or how good or how bad are they if they don't have Aaron Donald, right? No Aaron Donald. Do you automatically just say, I might take them from projected champions of the NFC West maybe down to 2 or 3? Does he make that much of a difference?
Well, and you're looking at a guy too that's the best at his position, maybe the best player in the NFL, and he's going to want a lot of money. Like that's going to be a huge payday if he does get it, especially if it's kind of like a, hey, I'm going to leave unless I get a big payday. Like that's going to cost the Rams a lot of money. Do you guys think it's going to happen? Like, if you sat here today, they said, okay, what's going to happen? Is Aaron Donald going to play this year? Is he going to get an extension, or is he going to retire? If you had to pick one of those, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say he's going to play. He just barely turned 31 years old too, so he's not really even on the downside of his career. He's still like at that peak, and maybe the roller coaster is going very slow before it maybe starts to go downhill, right? So he should be able to play another couple of years without too much of a problem. But I also wonder, and Croc, you could probably answer this a little bit more because of your playing experience. Do you think it might weigh on a guy, literally being 6'1", 285 or whatever he is, and just and being a smaller body guy, even though he's so strong and so athletic and he's kind of a freak of nature, just battling inside with 320-pound offensive linemen your entire career? I wonder if it might weigh on you a little bit more if you're Aaron Donald than if you're maybe a bigger body player.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And when those thoughts start creeping into your head, it's more about how you feel as opposed to an amount of money that's going to make you continue to play and take on the brunt of all that. Like, oh, we'll pay you $40 million. Like, oh, okay, guess I'll put my body through this. Like, no, once you start thinking that and it starts kind of going into your head, I think you kind of have one foot out the door. I don't think it's money that's going to make him want to keep playing and continue to deal with that.
Right, and we don't know what drives guys, too. I mean, maybe what's driven him so much is trying to win that championship, trying to be the best, and now he's got it, so he's just like, I don't know if I want to go through it. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Croc. I think once you start questioning it, I think that's kind of the beginning of the end, especially for a guy that it's not like he's a quarterback who's back there and doesn't get touched, for 4 quarters. This is a guy who's in the trenches every single play. Like that's got to wear on a guy.
Next, we are going to pick our selections, our draft locations, 1, 2, and 3, snake draft style for the all-time 49ers draft that will start up next Winky Wednesday episode, and a couple of more listener questions like this one from Golfing Bard on Twitter. He says, at BD Peacock, at Eric_Crocker, at Bay Area Wink. The 2022 offense, and he's responding to our last couple of podcasts where we're sort of projecting what the passing game is going to look like and statistically where Trey Lance could be and statistically where the running backs could be. And he paints a picture for us here. And I like this. He says, 2022 offense, threaten the edge with jet sweep motion with number 19, number 11, and Trey on the other end with the read option, stretch the defense horizontally, and then power running with inside zone. Gray threatening the safety deep, keeps 8 out of the box, and Kittle eats over the middle. Croc, what do you think about Golfing Bard's strategy for the 49ers offense in 2022?
I think we might have lost Croc.
Oh, we lost Croc. Well, never mind. Croc, sorry, Golfing Bard. Croc hated that suggestion.
He's like, I'm out.
No, but I like it, and you get that number because Shanahan's all about the numbers game, right? And so that's one of the big things with Deebo Samuel and the wide back stuff. You go out there with 3 wide receivers, and so the defense brings their nickel, and all of a sudden it's like, nope, we're in 21 personnel now, and we're going to beat you up, and you've got 3 DBs on the field, and so we've got an advantage there. And then what Bard here paints out, that picture is like, not only do you have the threat of all of those things, but now you have the Trey Lance feature. So you can go play action this way. You could have, Deebo Samuel motioning this way, and you fake it here, but you're going this way now. And now it's just spreading it wide open. And if you have legit speed down the field, you got Ayuk, you've got, Danny Gray, the new 4-3 guy who's got a ton of speed, who can absolutely, if nothing else, threaten a defense deep, holding on to a safety. Now you're wide open in the middle of the field, whether you're running the ball, whether you're handing one of those off, whether you're keeping it with the quarterback, or, you're hitting Deebo or Kittle over the middle as he laid out there. And I love that. It excites me what Kyle Shanahan could draw up here with Trey Lance, just adding a little extra element to the offense that didn't exist before.
Yeah,
I think one thing that we're hearing there, well, I was just going to say, you threaten every level of the field, every inch of blade, whether it's vertically or sideline to sideline. So I think stretching teams in that way, it is only going to open up the middle of the field, not just for George Kittle, as he alluded to, but for the running back as well. When you do keep, or if you have the running back kind of on the outside zone stretch and your quarterback keeps it and runs up the middle and protects himself by going down after he picks up 8 yards, I think that's something that can help too. And I saw Trey Lance do some of that. A lot of people talked about a lot of hits that he took against Arizona. There were a few times as well that I noticed how he was able to get down without taking any hits. And if he can be more consistent with that, a la Russell Wilson, who's terrific at really not taking on the brunt of hits, or even Lamar Jackson, who runs more than any quarterback in the league, but I feel like nobody really gets a good shot on him, right? Just learn how to kind of protect yourself in an open field. I think that'll help as well. And when you start kind of stretching defenses out, making linebackers have to go this way and run up the field with guys like George Kittle, and it leaves voids in the defense, well, you're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of different things. We've seen Kansas City kind of do that to a certain extent. A lot of people, I think when they view Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, they think about the big, explosive, splashy plays down the field. But there's also a lot of them stretching teams this way, then hitting Travis Kelce wide open over the middle. It's like, man, how do you get so wide open? It's because of all the different areas and movements that they're doing to stretch the defense.
Yeah, I think we've seen the 49ers do that in the past too, right, with speedsters like Marquise Goodwin. When he was on the field with the 49ers, he stretched the field, and you saw a lot of Kittle. You saw a lot of that open over the middle, Kittle, run after the catch, go. Like that's something that, Danny Gray kind of can mold something similar to what Marquise Goodwin did for the 49ers. I think that'd be great.
Yep, and clearly that's the plan. Kyle Shanahan wants one of those players on the team at all time, even if he didn't use Travis Benjamin at all and his 4.3 speed when he was on the 49ers roster. Troy has an issue, Croc, with some things we've talked about. He also tags Wink and had a hashtag Winky Wednesday in there. So he wanted this on Winky Wednesday. So I'll let him have it, even though he's trashing us a little bit. He says, guys, love the pod, listen every day, but you're way too obsessive about numbers. Ugly numbers, but he wears it well. What does that even mean? Play well, and the number means zip, zero, nada to me. Croc, what do you think? Numbers don't matter.
Well, I mean, they don't matter in a grand scheme of things. There are certain things that people they just notice more than other people. And I think numbers is something that a lot of people notice. And I think half the people that watch football, like, they could care less. And there are another half of people that is why the reason why they put out these numbers, right? Like, why do they post numbers in social media and show us what guys' numbers are? Not just so we can know who they are. Like, guys talk about those type of things. Mm-hmm. Now, again, it doesn't matter. It's not going to make a guy play any better or any less or, worse. But, it's just kind of fun to talk about just certain numbers because we all have our favorite numbers, right? But in the grand scheme of things, and it's a very small percentage of the time that we talk about it. I think when we do talk about it, he clearly notices and recognizes that. But it's like, dude, that's been like 2-3 podcasts over the last entire year. Okay,
I mean, since it got brought up, do you guys have a number that just doesn't look good? Like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like 37. Like, I can't think of a 37 that's ever terrible. Looked good. Yeah, right? Like, you just want a running back wearing 37? Like, hey, don't worry about that guy. He's just going to be blocking.
What's hilarious?
But you can find somebody that play well in an ugly number. Like, so sure. It's just, hey, guy got an ugly number. That's okay. He'll be all right. There's somebody that loves everyone, right? So,
You're right.
It's like a band name. There's like terrible band names out there, right? And you hear Pearl Jam, you're like, what the hell is Pearl Jam?
That's not a good name.
Like, and then and I know it. Yeah, that's I know it. But then you hear the band, you're like, oh, that's what those two words now mean. It doesn't mean that anymore. It means this other thing, this sound. I remember a band I loved, an indie band called Archers of Loaf, and out of North Carolina. And it was like, Archers of Loaf, that's got to be the worst band name I've ever heard. But I don't think of it that way anymore. That was what I first thought of when I heard that band name, and now it's whatever the band is. So Troy's got a point, but I also think it's hilarious because by Troy bringing this up, he got us to talk more about numbers again. So it might have backfired.
Right. Which we probably would not have talked about numbers again until maybe week 1 if a couple numbers got changed. And then you wouldn't hear for the rest of the season at all. You wouldn't hear 1 second talking about a number. But here we are talking about it again.
Yep. All right.
Appreciate it, Troy.
Thanks for the thanks everybody for tweeting at us and appreciate you, Troy, even though you were kind of blasting us there a little bit. All right, let's go.
You guys can take
ready to do this? I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Bring it up on the screen. This is because I don't want you guys to accuse me of like cheating or something. This is from randomresult.com. So I'm going to type in the names, number of items to pick. There's 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
we put himself first, of course.
Well, come on. But so we needed to pick it randomly, so that way we could figure out what order to put the names in to pick them randomly.
Yeah, right. We got to do this twice.
All right, here we go. This is the official.
Here we go.
Before we do this, I asked when you disappeared for a second, Croc. I asked Wink if he cared what spot he would be drafted in. He said it didn't matter. And the great thing about the 49ers is that there are so many great players throughout the 49ers franchise's history. Tons of Hall of Famers. Like, it's not even difficult to pick players until you start to get a little bit deeper down there, and then maybe that's where it could be won or lost, and you're trying to build out your roster. But we're all going to be drafting Hall of Famers for like the first 12 picks. I don't know how many Hall of Famers the 49ers even have, but they got a ton of them. So we're going to have a lot of those. So it's not that big of a deal. But Croc, do you have before we do this, do you have a spot you'd like to pick in? Would you like to be at 1, or would you rather maybe be at the turn where you get pick 3 and 4 back to back?
I'd rather be at the turn.
Okay.
I think I want 1 now that I think about it, man.
I think I would like.
I want 1 for strategic purposes. Just kind of.
You get the greatest player of all time.
How things lay out. There's 3 of us. There's 3 of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, so you got to keep that. That's in my mind right away.
Right. So that's why I was thinking. I think I like 2, so that way you don't have to wait for 4 picks before you get to pick again. Because if you get 1, there's a lot of players that are going to go before you're picking again at number 6. And I think 2 is good because then you would have that opportunity to get one of those couple of quarterbacks, because who the third quarterback is going to be really interesting in this. And so there's some strategy there. But without further, and look, there's no bad pick in this draft. I don't think so. I think we're going to be in a good spot. And like anybody who ever wore a 49ers jersey is eligible for this, even if it was for only 1 season. And here we go. Here's the drawing for the picks. Peacock, Crocker, and Winkler. What will the draft order be for the 2022 all-time 49ers draft?
Drum rolls.
Woo!
Oh, Winkler 1, Crocker 2,
yeah.
Croc 3. There we go. Okay.
All right.
So I got the sweet spot.
Yep. Guess what my last pick is going to be, guys?
I like that I'm picking
Quarterback.
last. Your last pick is going to be
Quarterback. It's going to be quarterback. Because you guys are going to take the 2 Hall of Famers before it comes back to me.
No, you're
I'm just
picking
gonna-
first.
I know. Are you kidding me? You would take a quarterback first? No. The greatest player of all time's out there.
I like this. I like this strategy already.
Come on.
This is going to be good. This is going to
Come
be good. Hey, but Wink, remember you tried this last year.
And I won.
I got both quarterbacks. You didn't get Steve Young or
fill out
Joe
an
Montana
entire
because you tried
roster.
to sleep on it. So don't try that game with me. You know how.
Let's go.
You might end up with Nick Mullins as your quarterback if Croc and I go on a little run.
Nick Mullins.
Drunken Miller, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins, not even tested.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
'cause
stuff.
that would just
I can't wait
flat
for
out
the
kill
all-time
him.
draft.
Like-
It's starting next Winky Wednesday. Feel free to hit us on Twitter if you think you have some draft strategy for us, knowing where we're going to be picking here. Winkler's drafting 1, Crocker's drafting 2. I've got the last pick, so you guys know I wasn't cheating here. And but I will be picking first in the second round because it's going to be a snake draft. So I'll be going back to back at 3 and 4. It's going to be a lot of fun starting next week. At BD Peacock on Twitter, at Eric_Crocker, at Bay Area Wink. Let us know what our draft strategies should be in the all-time 49ers draft. Croc and I back
Wink
tomorrow,
has
right
You
here.
have to take a quarterback.
Locked on 49ers.
How you pass on Jerry Rice? See ya.